really? You want me to start off? You want me to tell you how I'm feeling after watching this Emmanuelle sex chocolate? What was this called?
That's a great question.
Emmanuelle.
According to the file I have in front of me, it's called Movie 5.
We found the Japanese only released Emmanuelle Love, Sex and Chocolate.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I didn't even... Sex, Chocolate, and Emmanuelle. Oh, that's what it's called. Okay, I actually like my one better. So this was called Love, Sex, and Chocolate, Emmanuelle Through Time. And pretty sure this has got to be the last one of the Emmanuelle Through Times made. A true rarity. So a lot of Emmanuelle heads online trying to track this one down. This was only released in the territory of Japan, on DVD, which is now out of print. And one of our legendary listeners, who I will not name because they told me specifically that the copyright laws in Japan are not to be trifled with, managed to order the so they did buy it. They ordered the DVD, got it delivered to their place, ripped it, converted it, and sent us the file. And I like
what? I respect it, and actually, you know, as a part-time completionist, I find the legwork and the satisfaction at the end of this journey, or towards the end of this journey, knowing that we've collected them all, very satisfying. But that is,
I'm appreciative, but by the same token, I wish that this movie wasn't the one that I had just seen. There is a different movie. There was a different way to do a take on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory in the Emmanuelle universe, because this was just a fucking mess, and I feel sad. I feel so sad for having watched this film.
I totally agree with that. I guess it's my simple brain, but when I knew that we were having an Emmanuelle set in a Willy Wonka sort of style, but sexy universe.
But sexy.
I guess there was a picture that was in my mind's eye, which was a sex scene next to the chocolate waterfall from the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka. It was just like, it was that sort of, you know, really well lit, colorful room with a lot of green in it, and then this big natural. This is my memory.
But you could fuck everything. Instead of everything being edible, you could fuck every single thing in the factory. So everything was just like a dildo or a fleshlight or it's some other cool shit. I have an anus. Just everything is fuckable.
That's not what I had, but I like your one a lot.
You know, the schnozberries taste like schnozberries scene where he licks the wallpaper that's got the different flavors.
What does he say instead of schnozberries, Tim?
I think each one of the things is like a different kind of vagina that you're eating out. I don't know what the line is, but probably the vaginas taste like vaginas.
Delightfully and uncharacteristically sexually vivid of you, Tim. Which really tells me where you're at.
I hated this. I hated this movie. Although I probably didn't give it as good enough, an opportunity to wow me as I could have. But this sucked. And it didn't even do any Willy Wonka shit. Like, they just took the name Willy Wonka and called a woman Willa Wanka. Yeah. And that was it. That was the extent of it.
Also, pretty unusual hearing the word wanker in an American accent.
Yeah, they say it wrong for sure.
It just doesn't quite feel right.
I want to find an online plot synopsis because I couldn't even follow what the fuck was going on.
Well, I would just say, to counter your negative experience, it lagged towards the end, but certainly I gave it quite a lot of runway to enjoy it, and it didn't really bother me. I just sort of got, the more they introduced like extraneous plot details, because really you just want them, it's sort of like the last one we saw, that Emmanuelle fucks in the woods or whatever. You just want them to be like, it's in a sex factory.
Yeah.
but you don't want them to explore whether or not Willy Wonka is good or evil. All of that stuff is what really, dragged this movie down.
Yeah, they got confused. They got waylaid by the moral play of Willy Wonka, who was sort of presented as a proprietor of, or maybe that was the other character actually, a proprietor of like sex products, but then was revealed to be a master of nanotechnology and a real left turn at the end.
Yeah, there's a big nanotechnology inspired conclusion. That was neither here nor there for mine.
I'm glad that you enjoyed this more than I did, Guy. This whole podcast is such a journey for us, but particularly this season, it feels like adventure's a strong word, but I'm going to use it. It feels like a real adventure. Sometimes you're having a great time, and sometimes it's a really tough slog.
Well, I just think that before they got confused by what they were doing, they had there was some good fun and games.
Tell me what happened, Guy. Tell me about this movie. Tell me about the plot.
Basically, what's the name of the woman who just can't help herself but have sex or masturbate wherever she is on the blimp?
Renee,
your beloved Renee.
Yeah.
The long and short of it is she couldn't help herself. She had sex with one of the men who's in army fatigues. There are people in army fatigues on the blimp.
Yeah, they're rocking around with Colonel Sanders, you see.
Yeah. And basically he's like, I don't know about this. And she's like, we have to fuck next to the fuck machine.
The generator. It's a generator. It's a generator that creates wormholes and it's powered by sexual energy.
That is correct. And I guess there's something about the forbidden fruit that really fired up that generator to, take them somewhere ridiculous, which was externally from the blimp, it looked like pretty normal. Like they're usually in front of a green screen of a rainforest, and it appeared they were in front of a, green screen of a different rainforest. But on Emmanuelle.tv, there was an ad that played for Willy Wonka's Sex Emporium. And again, here's an area where it's disappointing because you're like, wow, we're finally going to Willy Wonka's Sex Emporium. I wonder what incredible creations and what interesting rooms and like the creative ways that, members of the core group of people will be peeled off from the group because they can't, contain their lustful desires to fuck all of these exciting machines. But instead they just go to like a warehouse-sized sex shop. And they're looking around.
Can I just say, because you this is actually probably my shining light of the whole movie, but speaking of machines that you want to fuck, the bit that you've just referenced, which is in about sort of minute 10 to 12 of the movie, where there's that ad, that features my favorite thing in this whole film. This movie came out in 2012. I don't know what phone it is that she's holding, but in the ad, she's got a mobile phone that's got two screens side by side, like the Samsung, the folding thing that came out like this year for fucking $2,000. I don't know what that thing was, but
is it further, aside inside of your initial aside?
Yeah.
What is the value of this Samsung flip phone that flips and has two of the same screen?
I mean, I think the thing is, we've had the same sort of phone since the iPhone came out. It's just a slab of glass in the shape of a pack of cards. Like it is, they tweak it every year, little tweaks here and there. But I mean, how the fuck are we going to keep selling these things? They're all the same. How do we keep selling them every year when they're all the same? I know, we'll make them bend in half in different and interesting ways. The idea, I think, is supposed to be that we get to the point where it's like your phone turns into a tablet. But
I understand.
I don't know. The world of technology kind of makes me borderline suicidal at the moment because we're in lockdown, and it's just like the thing I need in my life, and I would hasten to suggest all of us need right now, is less screen.
Yeah, but Samsung have doubled the amount of screen. And the thing that shits me is in the ad, they all pretty much carry it around like a regular phone until they have to like take a phone call or send an email.
Have you seen one? Have you seen one in real life?
No.
Our friend Leon has one. Leon who goes to New York and LA and stuff. Yeah, he's got one. And He's all about it, but I'll tell you what, he looks like a fucking idiot when he uses it.
And he's also like, whatever fucking thing he got marketed and bought, he's very evangelical about that thing until the next piece of marketing comes along.
Anyway, I'd really love to know what that phone is that she's holding, and let me get. It is disappointing that I think I've let my shining lights fall by the wayside during the Emmanuelle adventures. I don't think I've had one every episode, and I really should have, and that's on me.
It's a life lesson. It's very easy, especially in a lockdown, Tim, to cease to value the things that help get you through a day or a screening of a different Emmanuelle film.
Yeah,
and I'm glad you brought yours up. I'll just do mine as well while I remember. Which was later in the film, there was a woman was being detained. Willy Wonka is not who she says she is, and she steals intellectual property from her employees and then is convinced that she has to turn everyone into a lesbian, which, in a sentence actually sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but in the movie, they somehow make it really fucking boring. But she's detaining one of her top scientists, the woman from whom she's stolen most of the intellectual property. And her former lover, who left her for a man, which, sort of informs her origin story as a villain. She's detaining her former lover and this scientist, and she's strapped down to a chair. And then the way that she's being detained appears to be from this sort of this miniature rotating Ferris wheel where all of the carriages are tongues. So it's like this wheel of 1,000 tongues, and she's detained. And as punishment, I guess, the wheel spins round and round, and it's I guess her vagina is constantly being tongued, either by one tongue or by
Yeah, it's like a 40, water wheel of tongues.
And it was it's not really addressed. It's not, none of the characters notice it. It's
on screen for 4 seconds, but it's so funny.
Someone in the props department has built, and they're like, this? And then the director's like, yeah, sure, put it in. And it's it's quite insane.
Yeah, it is.
And it really it opens up a portal to a much more interesting and better movie where it's we could look at all of the insanely pleasurable torture devices Willy Wonka's made to handle all of her dissenting employees. But
so jettisoning any attempts to explain the plot of this movie, let's just let's discuss the most batshit moments of it. There is a fucking scene. So it's later revealed that this is one of the Emmanuelle.tv blimp cast members or crew members' VR dream. So I think the VR machine is eliciting their deepest sexual desires.
Yeah.
But you don't know this at the time.
Just inside of this, I'd like to say, when we're watching this is when I'm still enjoying the movie at this point. It's we're in this world before it's revealed it's a dream. And I'm well, this is kind of fanciful.
Fair enough. I don't even know if we're talking about the same bit because there's one with Emmanuelle, which is even crazy, but I'll let you get into that.
I'm thinking I think we're thinking the same one, the first one.
So there's a woman who's on a beach and it's I don't know how else to say it. She gets attacked by a bunch of sand dildos, which are completely powered of their own volition and appear to have some cognizance, and they're living things that go through the sand. Yeah, they're dildos. They're not made of sand. They're just dildos that live in sand, and they operate like the fin in Jaws. They're just roaming around, quite freaky like.
It's Jaws because they took whatever those opening chords of Jaws are dun. They took them and changed them both. One of them they made slightly flat and the other one they made sharp or something. It's dun dun. But what they're saying is this is a bit like Jaws but with dildos.
And there's a bunch of them, and they attack this woman who's just sunbathing on a beach on a towel, and she's terrified, but then she's into it. But then, and this is one of the wilder moments of the whole Emmanuelle through time thing, they all start jizzing on her, bukkake style.
Yeah.
Some of them are blurred out, and some of them are not. Well, I don't know what the difference is between.
At this point, it seems vital to mention that as this is, this is a property that we've received from Japan. And anyone who's watched, a modicum of pornography might know that Japanese porn is there's always these pixelated
The rules are you got to blur out the cocks.
You got to blur the cocks. You got to blur the mons pubis. You got to obviously blur the vagina. It appears you have to blur the anus, and sometimes you don't. And also, sometimes you've got to blur underpants.
Well, I'd like to bring your attention to Japanese Criminal Code Article 175, which states that indecent works must be censored. The pixelated blur became the industry standard and was accepted by the government. So it's right there in their laws.
Well, you can imagine that our one libertarian listener is absolutely spewing at the fact the government decides,
That one was from Reddit. This one is from Quora. All forms of pornography made in Japan must follow the regulations of the Obscenity Act, which forbids showing genitals without pixelating or otherwise covering the area. You wouldn't expect it, given the sort of reputation and profile Japan has with regards to the adult industry, but the law is quite strictly enforced. It's only been in recent years that the law has been relaxed substantially with regard to artistic works. And that was an answer left in 2015. Well, this movie was made in 2012, so maybe if the Emmanuelle series was going now and went to Japan, we'd have a different story.
If you can't find what you want on Reddit, there's a pretty good chance you can find it on Quora. Shout out to our sponsor, Quora.
Yeah, thanks, Quora. It still doesn't answer my question. What is the difference between these two kinds of dildos? Am I led to believe that they used actual penises for the ones that were blurred in the sand? Because the crazy thing was, let's say there's 20 penises around her, which is roughly the math. That's about right. So it's 4 sides. You know how a rectangle works. All those walls are lines of dildos that are jizzing on her. And in the 4 corners, those are the ones that are visible. And those ones are purple dildos, but they've still got sperm coming out. It's sort of like a CGI effect thing. The other ones are blurred. So that would mean, I would have thought it'd be more efficient to use 4 real penises at the corner and fill the rest out with dildos.
The thing is, if you're going to blur it anyway, you could use whatever the fuck you want.
But they don't. This is what I'm saying, guy. They don't blur the corner ones. Those are fully visible. It's only the ones in between the corners that are blurred. What's different about them?
Those were, if my memory serves, because they're featuring a pretty intense sex. So, amongst all of these different Jaws dildos, you've sort of got your 1-star dildo, which is what Tim's described as like your purple penis-sized dildo. And then all of the other ones, to me at least, appeared to be like from the factory floor, those sort of penis straws that you might see on a bachelorette party.
Oh, the ones that go in between your toes. No, you're so wrong. So there's another shot in this scene where the ones that Guy's talking about, they're kind of like, they're actually more realistic than a bachelorette party penis straw. They kind of look like tiny penises. Like they're slightly more anatomically correct than a penis straw.
Can I just, again, while we're here, can I just say as an aside, what an incredible ongoing motif for a bachelorette party for everything to be penis themed. Just sensational. Like penis straws, hilarious.
It is funny. It is a good gag and a great theme.
Who is that for? How did that become the thing?
Well, guys, you know how we all don't have sex before marriage still in this year of our Lord 2021? Yes. That's what it's about. It's about, hey, here's this funny body part you've never seen before that you're going to have to get used to. Sister.
Get familiar with it. Yeah, that's great.
There are these slightly more anatomically correct versions of a penis straw that go in between
silicone penis straws
in between her toes on the beach, which is quite a ghastly image.
So
those ones aren't blurred, Guy. So you're wrong again.
I know they're not blurred, but I'm saying I feel like the point of differentiation is that when those more realistic penis straws ejaculate en masse, while cornered by the
Japan's indecency laws line in the sand is purple dildo, you can jizz out of that. Fleshy dildo, we can see that. Fleshy dildo jizzing, no. That's the literal line in the sand.
Wow. You know what? When you lay it all like that, I don't know if this was your intention, but that kind of makes sense to me because The purple dildo's too far from a penis. You know, a non-ejaculating straw is just a straw. But as soon as you make a straw come, that's a cock. And I just want to emphasize for everyone that when Tim's talking about these penis straws fucking the toes, so you've got 4 gaps between your 5 toes. I think I'm doing that right.
Yeah.
There's a straw in every toe, and it looks amazing.
So now I would like you guys to describe the next VR sequence that happens with Emmanuelle. I can't even really remember I remember is the key bit.
Yeah, so basically I was messaging you at the start of the film, Tim, because as you'd expect in a movie called Emmanuelle's Sex, Love and Chocolate or whatever. Also, I've got to say, every time I hear the title or try to think of the title, it just makes me think of a Mos Def song I used to love. It's got the coolest like jazz flute sample. It's called Sex, Love and Money. And you could listen, put it on, you know, but after the podcast, the first 8 bars, if you like that, it'll really hook you in. But they're introducing food play again. And honestly, it's quite a nice touch. It's an homage. It's a nod to the fact that, you know, if not Emmanuelle always, the surrounding characters in the Emmanuelle universe love to fuck with food.
Yeah.
And this is, you know, the word chocolate's in the title. You can assume that. And Emmanuelle, and I can't remember her handsome sort of romantic partner on the blimp's name.
Is that William?
We can call him William.
I think it's William. I'm pretty sure that's William.
He's like, she's talking about how she's got this great French wine and he's like seducing her with this fondue. And there's all this food cut up and he's dipping chocolate and like offering it to her. And it's kind of, they're starting to get quite sexy. And it's quite, honestly, it's like quite an emotionally grounded, like more of a love-making scene than it's not really just raw sex. And it's also not like one of the weird, fanciful, like sort of fantasy sex scenes that we've seen in so many of these Emmanuelle Through Time films.
And this was so brilliant because I'm just trying to find your comment. Shit, where is it? Because you mentioned that out loud to me. You said this is like the truest moment of porn in this film.
I felt like that a few times.
Here we go. This is kind of the most pure porn of this batch. These guys are making love. And then I replied, wait for it.
Yes. Well, yeah. Well, I'll get to the point at which you said wait for it. And by the way, we were not watching this in exact synchronicity.
I was ahead, so I knew what was coming.
Yeah, but I read wait for it, like, and literally less than a breath later, what I was waiting for was upon me. And it was a very, very satisfying wait. Like, it was so good. But so he's playing with this food and he's got banana chopped up amongst all the different stuff for fondue. At one point, she dips a dildo in the chocolate and offers it to him, and he does a sort of coy, like, no face.
Not for
and she's
me.
like, well, someone's going to suck the chocolate tip of this dildo. And she, you know, does that. But all I could look at was there was this chopping board where he'd gone to all the trouble of, like, cutting up this fruit to dip in the fondue. And there's, like, strawberries, which is, say, the most traditional, marshmallows. And then there's also all these, like, sliced up pieces of banana. And if there's one thing I know about these Emmanuelle films, it's like they love getting a banana in there. And as soon as I saw the banana, I don't know if this definitely is reflective of where I am and the entire journey we've been on. I was like, oh, I do not want to see how you incorporate a sliced banana into a sex scene. I was like on the edge of my seat with fear. Anyway, they blow right past
Can I
the
just
banana.
say, I remember so little from like all of these movies, but the scene that is just burned into my memory, which I think I'll take to my dying day, is the Emmanuelle where they're a band.
Yeah.
And that whole food fucking scene is so like vividly in there. Like I can see the bowls of food. I can see the table laid out.
Yeah.
That was so fucked up.
It was
a real
so
high.
intense.
It was a
At
high
one point,
watermark.
yeah, someone was filleting a peeled banana, and then I can't tell if I made this up or if it happened. Either way, it's fucked that it's put it in my head. But she bites she bites off the end of the banana.
You couldn't handle that.
Anyway, so it's a case of what we're calling Emmanuelle's banana. They have this lovely lovemaking scene, and I'm like, they didn't use the banana. But I'm not relaxing until I see it put in the compost or something because I know it's out there. And then later on, not unlike this woman who sort of had this VR sex dream on a beach, Emmanuelle has a sex dream back on the blimp with the William, her partner, and he's like sort of shows up. It's been quite a fanciful sort of film, but all of a sudden it's all back to the boring reality it's set on, where they travel the world on this blimp with a glass floor and travel through wormholes using a fuck generator.
They fuck on the blimp floor, which is see-through, which they've done that in a previous movie. We've commented on it. It's a great way to fuck.
It's a great way to design a blimp. But they have another really tender and beautiful lovemaking scene, and then they finish, and she's sort of like, Emmanuelle's sort of like rinsed out and knackered, and he's like, but we got to have dessert. And she says, she's like, oh, no, I'm full. And he's like, no, you got to have dessert. And then he comes back over, and I'm just shitting myself that he's going to be carrying like a handful of sliced brown banana. And he does, and he brings out a grape, or what looks like a grape, but it turns out he rolls it along her body, and I'm like, that's a grape, right? Or is that a chocolate? It looks like a Malteser maybe. And he puts it in her mouth, and she's taken this, and it's like, as all of this is happening is when Tim messages me saying, wait for it. And so I get wait for it, and I'm like, there's a banana coming. But it turns out instead, and this is so far from what I imagined, but equally incredible, it's a chocolate that Willy Wonka's developed, which makes you so fucking full of sexual energy. And she eats it, and she's like, where'd you get that? He's like, oh, it's a chocolate. I took it from the Willy Wonka's sex emporium. And she's like, you what? Because she knows a little bit about it. She's like, this is not good. And she, like, in a matter of seconds, becomes like a giant. She becomes an avatar from
a
Na'vi from James Cameron's Avatar. She's like a giant.
And I'm not saying we're not telling you that it's like that size or that kind of shade of blue. No, they painted her to be Na'vi.
Yeah. It is perfectly like for like. It becomes massive, and you're just like, okay, couldn't have seen this coming. But again, a movie that's not afraid to be topical and reference current pop culture. And then the scientist comes in, and she immediately knows what's going on. She's like, you've got too much sexual energy. You need to do something with that now. And because she's a Na'vi, she's got this big tail. And as soon as she says now, she just plants the tail up the scientist's vagina and just like lifts her off the ground until there's a few shots of her toes like reaching for the ground, but you can't reach it. And just fucks the ever-loving shit out of her.
The scientist is loving it. Emmanuelle is loving it. Her
William,
recovering beau William, who's in the refractory period, he doesn't know what to make of this scene that's unfolding in front of him.
And then the movie used the same pullback and reveal, which is like, this is Emmanuelle in the sexy VR. This isn't actually happening.
Which is, in some ways, it's like shitty because it's like, and then I woke up. But in other ways is cooler because what this machine, I'm pretty sure, is designed to do is reveal your greatest sexual like escapism fantasy. And that is so fucking weird and specific for Emmanuelle to just be rolling around in her head. And it's like, I'm not just into role play. I'm into a very specific situation where I eat a chocolate and like Alice in Wonderland, it affects my body in a crazy way, which is that I get ultra horny and then turn into a Na'vi from Avatar and fuck someone with my tail.
It is, it's so hyper specific. And like, I'd be so interested to put that VR set on myself just to,
because I don't think Emmanuelle knew that was in her, right?
She didn't seem to know that. That like, that catches everyone off guard, that machine.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, I know it took a while to describe what was happening there, but there's also more food play with sushi, a la Samantha Jones in Sex and the City 2. And he brings out all this sushi and he's just like running it along her body. And at one point he takes a raw prawn and he's just like running it around the perimeter of her nipple, her areola. And it's it's not arousing.
No, it isn't. There's something about the temperature sensitivity of raw fish that just makes the whole affair very high stakes and not very sexually charged.
Yeah. it took me back to, I remember like watching Samantha do that in Sex and the City. I was like, how do you think sushi's sexy? It's just
I think that I actually think they do an all right job using Kim Cattrall, because it's like everything looks very expensive. You know, it's a big budget movie, so the sushi looks expensive. She's looks expensive. It's all beautifully shot. It's like, I get it, but someone would have to walk in like 30 seconds after you put it on your body for that to be kosher.
Yeah. I mean, money can't buy taste. And, you know, you've got to have like 10 years worth of understanding that this is one of the most punctual people in the world to even think about draping your body in raw fish, you know, and that being both delicious and edible and sex. Like,
I don't have that kind of confidence, and God willing, I never will.
I just, like, best case scenario, you eat like $100, $250 worth of raw fish, and then
you're supposed to have sex on a full tummy of rice and uncooked fish. Doesn't sound ideal. So this movie is kind of, after about the first 40 minutes, centered around Willy Wonka, who we've mentioned, who makes all these products. And that is portrayed by a woman called Rena Riffel. And she hasn't used a nom de plume in the credits. This is her real last name, as far as I can tell, or at least it's the name that she uses universally as a stage name.
It's her real vagina name as well, Tim. Because you said it's her real last name.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay, righto.
Thanks.
She's in Showgirls, Striptease, Mulholland Drive, and a bunch of other movies. And I can tell you that because there is not a doubt in my mind that she wrote her own Wikipedia page. It is long. For someone she's got a lot of credits, you know, I can't deny. She's done a lot of stuff, and Mulholland Drive, this is a big movie, you know? Huge.
I've not seen, do you know, I don't know if I've seen any David Lynch films.
I think I've seen Mulholland Drive, and I can't remember fucking any of it.
It was a long time ago. A trip.
Rena Riffel also, if I'm understanding, yeah, she did. So she was in Showgirls, I think is like, you know, not one of the stars, another movie I've not seen. And then she just was like, I'm going to make the sequel. And she did. She made Showgirls 2, Pennies from Heaven, which came out in 2011, starred, written, produced, edited, directed by Rena Riffel, who reprises her role from the first film. She's in a lot of stuff. Now, this Wikipedia page of hers goes into such detail that it is mentioning like appearances on Kimmel, which is generally such extraneous detail that, you know, if anyone else was visiting this Wikipedia page, it would be taken out because there's certain guidelines around, you know, how much detail we really need on a Wikipedia page. However, there is not one single goddamn mention of this movie on here, which, in my mind, reads to me that she is the reason this only came out in Japan. I think she intervened once she kind of figured out what this was and what was going on. And I think she like tried to do everything she could to make sure that it wouldn't come out. And she couldn't do that. So she managed to get, what's his name? Strunsky?
Alan Saritsky.
Saritsky, to somehow they formed some arrangement where it would just come out in the territory of Japan.
That is fascinating.
What do you think?
Because she's like, we've not seen her before. She's an outside presence, and she's clearly like one of the stronger actors in the cast.
She's a proper actor, yeah. I mean, not like a mate, like you know, she's not winning an Oscar for her performance in this movie, but you can tell she knows her way around the movie set. She's
like further along in her career, or at least in her confidence, than a lot of the others.
Yeah.
I mean, we're so far down the rabbit hole with these movies. Like, part of me, when it was like, oh, no, this one only came out in Japan. Yes, that obviously strikes me as unusual, but also I'm like, well, that's what's going to happen sometimes, is you're going to watch so many Emmanuelle movies that you come across one that's only available in Japan.
I thought going into this that it was going to be like a kind of Japanese version of Emmanuelle. Like, either this wasn't Emmanuelle through time, So I didn't know if it was part of the series and they'd actually have like a whole Japanese cast doing porn, but in sort of an Emmanuelle universe, or like the Willy Wonka character was Japanese. And I was also expecting when the movie file came through to us, I was expecting it to be dubbed in Japanese, but it wasn't. It was just a normal ass Emmanuelle through time with like, there's no real, like, is there anything in the movie to suggest to you that they knew from the outset this would only come out in Japan and don't mention sushi?
Absolutely not. And I didn't even put the sushi thing together. Like, because I didn't know anything about it, I kind of expected them when they were like traveling through a wormhole, because this fucking blimp goes all around the world. I was like, oh, it's going to be pretty interesting seeing these guys in Japan.
Yeah.
Man.
But it didn't do that. So I'm thinking this all happened after the fact, and I'm going to put it to you, Guy Montgomery, one of the only people on Earth qualified to entertain and switch this concept around in your mouth to test the validity of it, that Rena Riffle is the reason why this only came out in Japan, and there is many a frustrated Emmanuelle fan online who is absolutely baying for blood for this to be put online and streamable somehow. People really want their fucking hands on this movie that we've got. I don't know how to put it on the torrents without implicating myself somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I got nothing to say, but I really admire the way your brain works, man.
I'm asking you, do you think it stacks up? Do you think she did this?
I'm co-signing that 100%. I've got nothing to go on except the convincing argument laid forth by my friend Tim Batt, whose brain connects dots in a way that mine quite simply can't.
Oh, she's in Striptease, that Demi Moore movie with Burt Reynolds.
Was that movie well reviewed or poorly reviewed?
Striptease lacked the momentum that Showgirls gained in its cult status and has subsequently been referred to as one of the worst movies ever made.
There you go. I feel like I'd come across that tidbit.
Yes. It gets attributed to a lot of films that we brush up against, either for a watch or a year of watches.
Well, anything that is, got a little bit of money behind it and is bracketed as one of the worst movies of all time.
Guy, this is hello?
Hello.
Oh, boy. Hello.
Do you like my hat?
It's a fine hat, George Lazenby.
It's a fedora.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
When and where did you get a fedora?
I found it.
Did you? Where did you find a fedora, George?
On a dead body.
Whoa. That's pretty full on.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Where did you see a dead body, George Lazenby?
I stepped over one on my way here.
Wow. You didn't, you weren't sort of implicated in the body being dead or know how that came to pass or anything?
No. They were holding a briefcase, an open briefcase full of diamonds and a fedora.
And you, what did you do with the briefcase?
Oh, I left it. I mean, how's the hat?
Wow. You're an interesting man, George Lazenby.
I know what I like.
George, Guy and I just watched a movie. Yeah, I don't know.
Was I in it?
You were not in this movie. I don't know if you caught any of the comments as you were sort of walking up the path there to make it in, but we just watched probably the last Emmanuelle movie we'll watch. I think that's it for us.
Well, not if I have my way with the franchise.
Yes, I don't know if we've got time for you to sort of make and produce and release a film.
We do. There's more coming out. It's me having sex with every single Bond girl in chronological order.
I'm just going to double check something, George.
It's called George Lazenby's Emmanuelle.
You're 82.
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
You're going to have sex with all of the Bond girls. I mean...
And God willing, by the time I get up to 2021, I'll come and die.
Who's watching this, man? Who's this movie for?
I guess you guys.
A movie just for us once again. Well, very kind of you to pitch us a porno, but I think generally the way this works is we sort of bring an idea over to you to see if it would be worth financing.
Don't need an idea.
You're already covered. You're good.
I got a hat and I got about, I guess, 50, 60 pornos to make.
Yeah. I think I can't help but think that you should have taken some of those diamonds in the briefcase, or maybe the whole briefcase. I mean, you had a container to carry the diamonds. Mm-hmm. You could fund the movie using the diamonds, you see. Also, I think it's sort of worth pointing out that putting the pieces together, it feels like you've implicated yourself in a pretty high-stakes heist, but sort of just to get a hat out of it.
But how is the hat?
I mean, the hat sucks, George. No one wears fedoras. Fedoras have become
fuck you, I'm
joke.
James Bond. I wear what I like and I'm not afraid of anyone.
You keep saying you're James Bond. You were James Bond for one movie in, I believe,
Shut your
the
fucking
60s.
mouth. I came across a very wealthy and influential financier who's also into the creative arts. They're going to help me make these films. They'll play a small supporting role.
What film? The films where you fuck all the Bond girls. Is that a series? I thought you just meant there was going to be like a one release thing.
No, 50, 60 movies.
Oh,
different
my
movies
God.
for every Bond girl. And you want to know who's going to play the villain?
Who?
My financier.
Oh, wow. Is it anyone I know?
I don't know. Does the name Neil Breen mean anything to you?
Actually, yeah, it fucking does. Neil Breen. Wow. Holy shit. I literally couldn't think of anyone better for you to team up with to bring this vision to fruition. He is a powerful. How much do you know about Neil? Are you old friends of his?
Nothing.
Is
I ran into him on the way here. He
Fucking hell, dude. Was he implicated in the diamond heist somehow? Because he seems
No,
like the kind.
but he was covered in blood.
Right. Different, unrelated matter, though.
Presumably. Seemed like a good guy.
None of your business. That's cool, man. Guy and I have actually watched all of Neil Breen's films, except for his most recent release, which doesn't really count as a movie, but I think it was like about 7 hours of how to make Hollywood movies.
Incredibly prodigious young man.
Yeah, he is. He's a real doer, which I respect. And I think he's got he actually hasn't said a lot about an upcoming project that he's working on right now. Are you guys already in pre-production? Like, is this underway?
Well, we came up with the idea about 15 minutes ago, so
Right.
I guess we are.
Yeah, okay. Maybe not what I'm thinking of, though, that he was referencing on his Twitter. Shit, man. I tell you what, I'm excited, George Lazenby. I'm really excited to hear this news.
Thank you.
It's a real it's a partnership for the ages.
Tragically, some of the Bond girls have since passed on, so
Yes.
Neil's going to use this digital technology he has.
Oh, you're going to go Tupac on it.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Or I
Gonna
guess
fuck a
because it's
hologram.
film more like Princess Leia.
Whatever you want to call it, man, we're going to make it work. Going to make a lot of money.
That's cool, man. Well, I tell you one thing that I know for sure about Neil Breen, having seen all of his movies, the man knows how to pull off CGI. So I think it's going to be a pretty flawless depiction of these dear departed Bond girls who I'm sure you're very tastefully...
We wanted to be tasteful.
Yeah. Well, that's certainly his forte. The two things you got to know about Neil Breen, and this is why I'm so delighted that you're teaming up with him. 1, tasteful cinema is his forte. 2, the guy knows how to nail computer-generated imagery for special effects. There's no one better in the biz.
Well, I couldn't feel luckier. I mean, I just wanted to get a compliment on my hat, but to hear you say that about Neil really means the world.
Yeah, fantastic. All right. Well, George, unless Guy's got any commentary for you, it seems like you're not taking any pictures today. So I actually wanted to cordially invite you to the next episode of our podcast. And I haven't cleared this with Guy yet, so I don't know if he's keen to. I'm sure he is. Look, we both think
we are
really
huge
cool
fans, George.
You're a lot of fun to hang out with. What we were thinking of doing to sort of end the Emmanuelle season off with, actually we might do something first, but to really cap off this season of our podcast, we were hoping to have you on to ride side saddle with us while we do a director's commentary on Her Majesty's Secret Service, your Bond movie.
Oh my God.
And you could tell us about the sort of behind the scenes trivia and what was going on at the time, and you know how you shot certain things, the movie magic.
Well, before I say yes, I've got to warn you boys.
Yeah.
You know that movie's not a porno.
No, I do. I do know.
Unless you consider perfect acting to be very horny.
Well, I kind of do. But, you know, porno or none, that's totally fine. I just think you've really contributed so much to the season.
What do you think, Guy? For some of it.
All right. Well, it sounds like we've got a plan. It sounds like a date. So what I thought, Guy, what I thought we might do is next episode is I think we should go back to the start. We've traveled such a long ways from where we left, like a hero's journey. We've left the village of the first ever Emmanuelle.
Yeah.
We have sacrificed a lot. We have changed. We have grown.
Yeah,
and I think we need to return home to complete the hero's journey and see what we've learned and how we've grown.
You're telling me we're watching the very first?
That's what I think.
I think that's a great idea. I think, obviously, a huge amount of me wants to put this in the rearview mirror, but there is.
I think it's important.
Well, I think
I'm with you, like I do too. But I feel like it's important.
It's satisfying to track all the way back and to be like, it's interesting to observe, and this will afford us that opportunity. But like the mutation of something.
Exactly.
What if you create something and you put it out into the world?
Yeah.
As soon as it's released, that thing is no longer yours because no one else could possibly interpret it or, experience it the way that exactly you imagined.
Yeah.
And so, for the thing you release to be an intellectual property that is then reinterpreted across so many decades and in so many different ways is it's exciting to go back to the beginning.
Well, that's cool, man. Oh, Guy, there's someone at the door.
No, he can go fuck himself.
No, he seems pretty keen to get in.
Pretty keen to go fuck himself.
You don't want to let this gentleman in? He's knocking pretty loudly.
Boner Inspector!
Oh, hey, buddy.
Hi,
Long time
buddy.
no see.
Oh, really?
Boner Inspector, I've got bad news for you, my friend.
Yes?
I've just watched Emmanuelle, what I'm calling Love, Sex and Chocolate. I've changed the title slightly for my own purposes. I think it's a good punch up. Dude, not a skerrick of anything. I can't understand how anyone would masturbate to this film.
Yeah. And I'm sorry to say, but it's, to watch the sex scenes, you're like, this is the one that they want us to masturbate to the most. But I just wasn't a bee.
No. Not happening at all. Nothing. No action south of the border.
Did anyone suck off a banana? I'm running a new survey. Well,
they didn't, but they got pretty fucking... All the equipment was there. The gun was loaded, but it didn't go off.
Oh, well. Very good to know.
Yeah. All right. See you later, man.
Gotta go to the local supermarket to feel the bananas.
Okay, very cool. He's out of there, folks.
Wow.
And I mean, God, if anything has proven that George Lazenby's the world's greatest listener, he's just been sitting in the corner of the room watching all this unfold. George, such a kind and generous conversationalist. But you can feel free to get out of here and we'll catch you in the next episode. Well. Yeah, cool. Good to see you, though. Take care.
Fuck. It's going to be a real shame to see the back of those guys.
It sure will. It's been nice hanging out with them. So, Guy, I wish you well.
Thank you. Actually, before we go, can I advertise myself?
Yeah, I'd love that. In fact, that's probably the thing that's going to get me horniest out of the past 3 hours.
Oh, yeah, man. I know you love it when I advertise myself. Well, I just released an hour of me doing stand-up comedy on Bandcamp. And it's my show from this year. I recorded it on the night I reckon I did the best show of my life. So what a stroke of luck that is. It's $5 New Zealand dollars, which is like $0 if you're listening in England. The link is presumably in the show notes.
Here's hoping. It's a great show. You'll enjoy it. This is a tuppence to pay to stay in the United Kingdom, which you referenced for some reason. It's nothing.
It's zero, yeah.
So, get involved, get it in you. It's a bloody good time. And I think that concludes the episode.
Yeah. Also, a huge thank you to everyone who, if you have, who's already bought it. It's been such a positive experience to put something out into the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it nice?
Yeah.
And thank you so much to all the people who reached out as well to help us track down this Emmanuelle as well.
Yeah.
And particularly the person who did.
Desire for us to see every Emmanuelle is admirable and infuriating.